The question is, how fast is the Charger Hellcat? Really? Everyone knows what a Hellcat is. From children to grandparents, the Hellcat has sparked immense competition among other automakers. Not only that, the dreams of not just young aspiring adults, but literally everyone who has a passion for cars. When the Challenger Hellcat was first teased in 2014, many asked if there would be a Charger version, and shortly after, the Charger Hellcat became a reality. When the Charger was first released, everyone couldn't imagine 707 horsepower and how that would translate directly to driving. But surely it would make for an unforgettable, most say, and unbeatable quarter-mile in top speed experience. However, as with anything else, the car community became somewhat desensitized to the power, and car enthusiasts craved more power, leading to the Demon and eventually the Red Eye. The auto industry even felt pressured to deliver more power and try to keep up with Dodge. Such efforts are the 2020 GT500, the Camaro ZL1, the Chevy SS, which, by the way, was discontinued, and I feel that it was because of the fact it was more than 4 years too late and underpowered. Yet there are many enthusiasts and die-hard Dodge fans that want to see even more power. In fact, everyone is just waiting for Dodge to up the game yet again. But why is that? Is 707 or 717 horsepower not enough? What about the Red Eye's 797 horsepower or the Dodge Demon's 808 horsepower? What about the fact that the Dodge Demon can also run 840 horsepower with the Demon Crate? Is that not enough? Why do we need more power? The fact that Dodge has continued to add more and more power to their lineup has truly abolished the memories of what the original Charger was and how we are downright spoiled today. Dodge has desensitized us to horsepower so much, in fact, that cars that come out with less than 500 horsepower seem weak or slow. Yet we talk about how great the Charger used to be. For its time, it was legendary. It was fast. It was American muscle at its purest form. American muscle was living strong in the late 60s and early 70s. However, compared to the Charger of today, it's downright unsatisfying and slow, let's be honest. So the question is, how fast is the Charger Hellcat really? Let's take a look at the Charger lineup and the history of this awesome automobile and how it evolved into what we know today as the Charger Hellcat. The Charger was a model introduced by Dodge in 1965. The 1966 to 1974 Chargers were sporty models based on the Chrysler B platform that could be ordered with high-performance options. The car still somewhat resembled a Coronet or a Rambler Marlin from AMC and was rather a luxury fastback model more than a top-tier muscle car during the first generation. The first generations of the Charger produced 232 horsepower and 340 pound-feet of torque, and the curb weight was around 3,700 pounds. So I'm going to get into the good stuff. First, the 1970 Charger with the 446 pack, producing 390 horsepower, 490 pound-feet of torque. It weighed 3,781 pounds, ran the quarter mile in 13.6 seconds at 104 miles per hour, and its 0 to 60 time was 6 seconds. The 1970 Charger with the 426 Hemi option produced 425 horsepower, but only produced 390 pound-feet of torque. That's 100 pound-feet of torque less than the 446 pack, and it weighed 3,880 pounds, so it was 100 pounds heavier. However, it ran the quarter mile in 13.1 seconds at 107 miles per hour. That's half a second faster and 3 mile per hour faster trap speed than the Charger with the 446 pack. The 0 to 60 time on the 426 Hemi was 5.1 seconds. The muscle car era pretty much was going to be coming to a close because of safety regulations and emission controls that the government was basically enforcing on auto manufacturers. With that being said, the Hemi engine was no longer an option. The 440 was now rated at 370 horsepower, which was a loss of 5 horsepower from the previous years. The 446 pack also lost 5 horsepower. The Charger was redesigned and it lost a few inches of wheelbase, and it was also available in different trims such as RT or SE. It now also shared a body with the Super V. This body design pretty much went on until 1974. From 1972 until 1974, the Dodge Charger was equipped with a 440 and a 4-barrel carburetor, hydraulic lifter, and 5 main bearings. The result was 280 horsepower for the years 1972 and 73. In 1974, the horsepower dipped yet again to 275. In 1973, the base 318 cubic inch engine was available, rated at 255 horsepower. The 440 was only producing roughly 255 horsepower, and the 446 pack produced around 330. The decrease in horsepower was mainly due to the fact of detuning to comply with government safety, emissions, and regulation, and that was no longer being quoted in terms of gross output, but rather in terms of net output. In 1975, Dodge positioned the Charger as a luxury vehicle. They introduced the SE, which was a near clone of the Chrysler Cordoba. The SE came equipped with lots of standard equipment and a 360 cubic inch engine, but it only produced a mere 180 horsepower. The Slant 6, 318, and 400 were available in various configurations. The 360 fitted with a 4-barrel instead of the standard 2-barrel carburetor would increase the horsepower to a mere 200. In 1978, the Charger was replaced with the Magnum, with basically a name change because the Magnum was the exact same thing as the Charger SE. The Charger name has reappeared in recent times as a tribute to muscle car phenomenon in the late 60s. The name was also used in the 1980s on the Dodge Omni. And we're not even going to talk about the L-body Charger that came back in 1981 with a 2.2-liter producing 85 horsepower. How can you have a Charger with a 2.2-liter 4-cylinder only producing 85 horsepower? And just when you think that things could not possibly get any worse, the engine in 1982 was now a 1.7-liter that produced only 70 horsepower and was made by Volkswagen. In 1983, Volkswagen ceased production of this engine. However, Dodge found a new engine at Peugeot, which is a French automobile manufacturing company. Upon the addition of the new engine, Chrysler renamed the Omni 024 to the Charger. In 1984, the only real change to the car was the quad headlights that were added to kind of make it easier to distinguish from its sibling, the Omni. However, a few years later, in 1987, production ceased for the Charger, the Turismo, Omni, and the Horizon. And the very next time you're going to see a Dodge Charger was 2005. And now we move along to 2006, where the Dodge Charger has returned with triumphant power in 2 different trims. The 2006 through 2008 Charger RT, which came with a 5.7-liter Hemi, produced 340 horsepower and 390 pound-feet of torque. It weighed in at a whopping 4,031 pounds. However, it still ran the quarter mile in 14.1 seconds at 102 miles per hour. Its 0 to 60 time was 5.5 seconds. However, the 6.1-liter powered Charger SRT8 had 425 horsepower and 420 pound-feet of torque. It weighed a little bit more at 4,160 pounds, yet it blasted to the quarter mile in 13.2 seconds at 109 miles per hour. Its 0 to 60 time was 4.8 seconds. After 2008, the Charger RT got a bump in power. From 2009 until 2010, it produced 368 horsepower, 395 pound-feet of torque. It weighed the same at 4,031 pounds, which pretty much gave it an identical theoretical ET time in the quarter mile of 14.1 seconds. However, the trap speed was up 4 miles per hour at 106. Its 0 to 60 time dropped a tenth and is now down to 5.4 seconds. In 2011 through 2014, the Charger RT 5.7-liter got a slight bump in horsepower, 2 to be exact, now producing 370 horsepower and the same 395 pound-feet of torque. Now weighing in at 4,253 pounds, it runs the quarter mile in 13.7 seconds and 0 to 60 in 5.2, so much faster than the previous RT models, even though it's slightly heavier. Now, alongside the 2011 through 14 Charger RT, the Charger SRT8 makes its return in 2012, and it runs until 2014, producing 470 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque, weighing in at 4,364 pounds. This Charger blazes through the quarter mile at 12.8 seconds at 114 miles per hour, and the 0 to 60 time is only 4.3 seconds. Then, the Charger gets another redesign from 2015 through 2020, which is the current lineup. The Daytona, SRT, Scat Pack, and 392 all share the same 6.4-liter Hemi, producing 485 horsepower and 475 pound-feet of torque. Weighing in at its heaviest 4,410 pounds for the non-supercharged version, the quarter mile can come at a quick and fast 12.4 seconds at 115 miles per hour, and the 0 to 60 time in a mere 4.1 seconds. Then in 2015, we got the current generation narrow-body Charger Hellcat with its 6.2-liter supercharged engine producing 707 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque, weighing in at a massive 4,575 pounds. This car, as heavy as it is, runs the quarter mile in 11.3 seconds at 128 miles per hour. And if that wasn't impressive enough, its 0 to 60 time is 3.6 seconds. And then, only a few years later, Dodge gives us the Charger Hellcat wide-body Daytona with the same 6.2-liter Hemi engine supercharged, this time producing 717 horsepower and the same 650 pound-feet of torque. However, the car is 11 pounds heavier. This Charger Hellcat wide-body Daytona obliterates the quarter mile at 10.9 seconds at 126 miles per hour, and its 0 to 60 time is less than 3.4 seconds. So I guess we truly are spoiled. And it's a good thing. Well, sort of. The need for power seems to come from the fact that speed and power are very addicting. The Charger Hellcat will forever be remembered as one of the greatest cars ever made in the history of mankind. The Charger Hellcat is the 1970 426 Hemi Charger of today. In 30 years from now, our children, even our grandchildren, will look back like we do now and say, I wish I lived in that era. I wish I could have owned one. It's a remarkable car that will live on forever, even well beyond the end of its production, whenever that may happen. So the question is, how fast is the Charger Hellcat? Really? Well, it's the fastest production sedan in the history of mankind. So I think I'm just going to leave that there. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Be sure to subscribe, like and share if you haven't already, and tap that bell notification. And don't forget to check out the merchandise below this video, as well as the join button. Exclusive perks when you join, emojis, and so much more. And be sure to check out my other 2 channels, which are right there on the screen. But take care, guys. I want you to be safe out there, and I'll see all of you on the next upload. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Take care.